Chelsea want to make their first official offer to Napoli and Victor Osimhen in the coming minutes and hours, according to reports from Italy. Plus, the swap deal for Jadon Sancho, Raheem Sterling, Chelsea and Man United is on and being explored, according to an update from Fabrizio Romano. Plus, it looks likely that Liverpool Football Club will work to complete the Federico Chiesa deal. 15 million euros. Liverpool proceeding. Lots of updates tonight. Of course, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing if you haven't done so already. The transfer market, it's been a weird one. There's been loads of sleepy moments. But of course, with 2 or 3 days left, the speed of transaction, the speed of completion appears to be revving up. The pace is gathering, absolutely no doubt about it. And I wanted to start with Chelsea. There has been talks today of a move for Ivan Toney. Lots of credible reports surrounding that. But Damasio has stated in the past few moments that Chelsea want to make their first official offer. Now, it's important to remember that there are always negotiations and talks via WhatsApp, via email, via intermediaries, where in those conversations, no official bid is made. You know, I'm not a big fan of the phrase official bid versus non-official bid. Typically, the official bids only really come in when clubs have agreed a deal in principle, or they're very, very close after the initial conversations. It's claimed this is coming in the next minutes and hours. Could this deal with Osimhen to Chelsea be about to advance to those final stages? I said for a while this summer, I don't think Chelsea's transfer window has been as bad as people have made out. The only one I questioned was the João Felix deal, and that was more to do with, do you really want him or not? In terms of the quality, a much better player than Samu Amarodian. Neto has come in. Tossin's a good signing. Dewsbury Hall, lots of experienced players of that sort of 24 to 26 years of age range to give their team a spine for the other young players, the other inexperienced players to learn and grow from as you move forward. If the Osimhen deal is complete, in fact, if it's Osimhen or if it's Ivan Toney, it is a phenomenal summer for Chelsea. Of course on paper, but that's what transfer windows are. Everything's on paper. And we saw in the second half, though, against Wolverhampton Wanderers, what they are capable of doing. What Fabrizio Romano was also updated on tonight is negotiations over Jadon Sancho's future continue. Juve in talks over a loan deal with a buy clause. United wants specific conditions to be met, including salary coverage. Chelsea are considering Sancho an opportunity for a swap deal. Chelsea want to include Sterling. Therefore, is up to Manchester United. And this is such an interesting one because United want to part ways with Sancho. Sancho wants to go somewhere where he can flourish and get first-team football, which I think everybody agrees is the right thing for everybody to do. But Chelsea could also be looking at bringing in Sancho along with Osimhen or Ivan Toney. But over the last couple of days, it depends on the journalist that's reporting on it. The first few reports about a potential swap deal for Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho were essentially laughed at. Before we go any further, I will say this. I guarantee if it happens, the journalist will be told to report it as two separate transactions. That seems to be a very important way for the accountants to make sure these deals go through. And if you've got evidence in the mainstream media that they're separate, it probably helps with the taxman, or it helps with the PSR rules anyway. But what's interesting to me is that when this story first broke, it was met with no chance, not at all. And it's kind of gone for, and I'm using the social media tiering system here as a gauge, but it's kind of gone through the social media tiering system into a point now where Fabrizio was talking about it, talks, conversations, and everything is essentially advanced at this point because you don't have long to prolong this, but it appears that it's up to Man United. I think depends how much we want Raheem Sterling. So I was about to say our preference is probably Juventus. But of course, it depends how much we want Raheem Sterling. And what I will say is this. I'm still sitting on the fence. I'm still sitting on the fence with Raheem Sterling. My mind hasn't changed. But I read a really interesting report earlier on today that Ten Hag was fighting hard to keep Scott McTominay. instead of signing Ugarte. And it was the Dan Ashworths and the Wilcox and the new regime that said, no, we're moving McTominay on. We're bringing in Ugarte, which I think demonstrates the veto action not being in place anymore and a change of direction for Manchester United. And the reason why I bring that up is Ten Hag's track record of buying players, who to buy and who to sell, so far has not been particularly good. So I'm kind of happy we're not letting him pick. Equally, if you read that story and say, I'm really glad that Dan Ashworth and Wilcock and the football decision makers made the correct footballing decision in terms of Ugarte in or McTominay staying, and they went with Ugarte in. I think he's a better football player all round, especially in the position that we need him in. So if those same very people go, hang on, we really rate Raheem Sterling. Yes, we'd prefer to put Sancho out of the Premier League where he can't really hurt us. In league games, in FA Cups, in Carabao Cups. But Raheem Sterling could be a gem for us. If you trust the decision-making of our new board, objectively speaking, why would you be against the Raheem Sterling deal? It's a question. It's a question that I personally don't have an answer for. I am so torn on this, it's unbelievable, but I'd love to gauge your view and opinion. I think for Chelsea, like I've said on paper, Sancho is an excellent signing for them. I really do think if they could get Sancho back to near his best, it would be a phenomenal piece of business. It really, really would. But give us your thoughts and give us your feelings in the comment section below. Man United fans, what do you want Man United to do? Chelsea, today, Ivan Toney, Osimhen, Sancho, all linked to your club. 2 of that 3 could be joining you by close of business on Friday. Let me give me your thoughts and your feelings below. Now, we mentioned at the top of the video, Mr. Ornstein put out a tweet confirming that Liverpool are working to complete the signing of Chiesa from Juve before the transfer window shuts. This was a rumour that shocked a lot of Liverpool fans a couple of days ago, but we know it's happening. We know it's one that could complete. Long-standing admirers of the player, discussions of a 4-year deal. Now, what I'm going to say about it is this. I understand the concerns due to his injury record and his kind of lack of impact on the game since his bad knee injury a few seasons ago. However, at 15 million euros, that's around 12 million pounds, I just don't think it's a big risk. I just don't think it's a deal that should even worry Liverpool fans. If he flops, he costs 12 million pounds. If he's a success and you get Chiesa back to 80%, 90%, 100% of the player he was before the injury, it's a bargain. In fact, it could be pound for pound one of the best signings in the last decade. If he gets back to that level at 12 million quid, please don't misconstrue my words. It's all about whether he can remain fit. But at that price, I think this is a phenomenal piece of business, pound for pound, based on that price. It's almost win-win. If it goes wrong, no harm done. If it goes right, fantastic business. It just depends whether you, Liverpool fans watching, rivals tuning in as well, whether or not you think that it will go well. I'd love to gauge and understand your opinion on that. But as with the Man United swap deal, Sancho and Raheem Sterling, Chiesa deal, both these stories broke about 24 hours ago. Now Ornstein, now Fabrizio and co are talking about this. I want to shout out the original outlets that spoke about this. I think DiMarzio was one of them because they won't get their credit now. Everyone will jump to the tier ones, and that's no disrespect to them. They're fantastic at what they do. But as ever, look, I want your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. More updates to come here on the Football Terrace, so make sure you've got those notifications turned on or join the transfer group chat. You can see the QR code on the screen. We share all of our links in there. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you soon. Peace.